The biggest sporting event on Earth is coming to North America in 2026. Not the Super Bowl, not March Madness, not even the Olympics. The FIFA World Cup attracts billions of viewers, shuts down entire cities, creates national heroes overnight, and somehow makes people care more about a game than almost anything else on the planet. But if you're American, new to football, or just someone who only pays attention every 4 years, it can feel confusing. Why is everyone so obsessed with this tournament? How does it actually work? Who plays? Who qualifies? And why do grown adults cry over a sport that can end 1-0? By the end of this video, you'll understand everything you need to know before World Cup 2026. And trust me, one fact about this tournament surprises almost everyone. Let's start with the biggest thing. The World Cup is not a league. It's not like the NFL season. It's not like the NBA playoffs. It's more like the Olympics of football. Countries send their best players to represent the nation, not cities, not clubs, entire countries. That's what makes it different. When Argentina wins, it's not just a team winning, it's a country celebrating. When England loses, millions of people feel it. And when an underdog shocks the world, an entire nation can become famous overnight. Think about that. Most sports create team rivalries. The World Cup creates national rivalries, and that's a completely different level of emotion. Now here's something many people don't realize. Almost every country on Earth tries to qualify. More than 200 nations compete for a limited number of spots. In 2026, the tournament is expanding from 32 teams to 48 teams. That sounds like a small change. It's not. It's the biggest expansion in modern World Cup history. More countries, more matches, more stories, more chances for chaos. And chaos is one reason people love the World Cup. Because unlike many sports, the best team doesn't always win. Football is weird like that. In basketball, the better team usually wins. In football, one lucky bounce can change everything. One mistake, one moment, one goal, and suddenly history is rewritten. Now let's talk about how countries actually get into the tournament. You don't buy a ticket, you earn it. For years before the World Cup starts, countries compete in qualification matches. Think of it as a giant global audition. Win enough games and you qualify. Fail, and you're watching from home. Even powerful countries can struggle. Italy, one of the most successful football nations ever, failed to qualify for 2 recent World Cups. Imagine the Los Angeles Lakers missing the NBA playoffs for years. That's the level of shock we're talking about. So making the World Cup is already a huge achievement. Winning it is another universe entirely. Now let's move to the tournament itself. The first stage is called the group stage. Sounds complicated. It's not. Imagine dividing 48 teams into smaller groups. Each team plays several games against the others in their group. You earn points based on results. Win a game, get points. Tie a game, get fewer points. Lose, get nothing. The best teams move on, the others go home. Simple. But here's where things become serious. After the group stage comes the knockout stage. This is where the World Cup becomes absolutely brutal. One loss, you're done. No second chances. No next week, no rematch, you're gone. A team can dominate for years, one bad night and everything ends. That's why World Cup matches feel different. The pressure is unbelievable. Imagine training your entire life for one tournament, then being eliminated because of one mistake in the 87th minute. That actually happens, all the time, and it creates some of the most emotional moments in sports. Now here's a question. Why do people go crazy over a sport where there are so few goals? Seriously. An NBA game might have over 200 points combined. An NFL game might have dozens of scoring plays. A football match can finish 1-0, sometimes 0-0. So why is it exciting? Because goals are rare, and rarity creates value. Think about diamonds. If diamonds were everywhere, nobody would care. Football goals work the same way. When a team finally scores after 80 minutes of tension, the release is enormous. Fans don't celebrate because goals happen often. They celebrate because they don't. And that changes how every second feels. Now let's talk about something that terrifies new viewers. Offside. You've probably heard the word. You've probably seen fans arguing about it. You may have even watched a goal get canceled because of it. Here's the easiest explanation you'll ever hear. Imagine playing basketball and standing underneath the opponent's hoop, waiting for an easy pass. That would be unfair. Football's offside rule exists to stop players from doing basically the same thing. Attackers can't just camp near the goal waiting for the ball. They need proper positioning when the pass is made. That's it. It's not magic. It's not impossible. although even experienced fans still argue about it every week. Now let's talk about something that's becoming a huge part of modern football: VAR, Video Assistant Referee. Think of it as football's replay review system. When referees miss something important, officials in a video room can review the footage. Sounds simple, right? Well, fans have mixed feelings. Some love it because it improves accuracy. Others hate it because it can turn celebrations into moments of panic. Imagine scoring the winning touchdown. Everyone celebrates. Then 5 minutes later, someone says, "Actually, let's check the replay." That's VAR. And trust me, you'll hear plenty about it during the World Cup. Now here's where things get really interesting. Not all countries enter the tournament with the same expectations. Some countries expect to win. Others simply hope to survive. Historically, nations like Brazil, Germany, Argentina, France, and Italy have been football powerhouses. These countries have produced generations of elite players. Winning is expected, but the World Cup loves surprises. In 2022, Morocco became the first African nation ever to reach a World Cup semifinal. Millions of people around the world suddenly became Morocco fans. Why? Because people love underdogs. The World Cup constantly creates them. And every tournament has a team nobody expects, until suddenly everyone is talking about them. Speaking of favorites, let's talk about the stars. One reason football becomes easier to follow is because of the players. Even people who know nothing about football often recognize names like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Kylian Mbappé. The World Cup is where legends are made. A great club career is impressive. A great World Cup can make you immortal. Why? Because everyone is watching. One magical tournament can define an entire career. That's why players dream about it from childhood. And that's why the pressure is unlike anything else in sports. Now let's talk about 2026 specifically. This World Cup is historic. For the first time ever, 3 countries are hosting together: United States, Canada, and Mexico. Matches will be played across massive stadiums. Fans from every corner of the world will travel thousands of miles to attend. Some cities will practically become football capitals for a month. And here's something fascinating. Many Americans are about to experience football culture for the first time. Not just the sport, the culture, the songs, the chants, the flags, the rivalries, the celebrations. Imagine the energy of the Super Bowl mixed with the global reach of the Olympics. That's the closest comparison, except it lasts for an entire month. And during that month, football becomes the center of the sporting universe. Now here's the most important thing to remember. You do not need to know every rule. You do not need to memorize every player. You do not need years of football knowledge. The World Cup is designed to be understood by everyone. The stories are universal: underdogs, heroes, pressure, redemption, heartbreak, victory. Even if you've never watched a football match before, you'll understand those emotions immediately. That's why billions of people watch. Not because they all understand tactics, not because they all know the rules, because great stories don't need explanations. And the World Cup produces more great stories than almost any event on Earth. So before World Cup 2026 begins, remember this: 48 countries will chase one trophy, millions will travel, billions will watch. Some players will become legends, others will experience heartbreak they'll never forget. And somewhere along the way, a moment will happen that people will still be talking about decades from now. That's the magic of the World Cup. If this video helped you understand football a little better, subscribe for more beginner-friendly football content, because the road to 2026 is just getting started, and there's a lot more to discover before the world's biggest tournament finally arrives.